Hello, welcome to Doublereno Leatherworks. So I've got a piece of leather that's about 28 inches long, and I need to, basically I'm going to do what's called tiling on this thing. I'm going to cut half of it, and then I'm going to take it, and it's hanging off the other end down there. You can't really see that. And then after I cut the first half, I'm going to try and line it all back up again, and then finish cutting the other half. So it'll be one cut, but done in two sections. So hopefully it's going to work out. I'll show you real quick the two pieces. It's a helmet, a fire department helmet name strip. I guess it goes around, or a name band. It goes around the back of your helmet, and you can stick wedges and tools and stuff in it, and it's got your name on the back of it. And I'll have another video making the whole thing once I get it cut out. But so I'm going to get this thing fired up, and I'll show you real quick the design. I'll show you two clips. I got the right and the left side. I'll show you those real quick. Okay, so we're ready to fire this thing up. I've got it all taped down with my blue tape with the super glue in between. So I got it glued down with that. I've already got it all lined up, and I'm fixing to set my origin. I got my origin lined up already. I got it set. So let's start cutting and see what happens. Turn my air assist on. It's going to get noisy. I'm sorry. Okay, so first part was successful. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to pull it off, and I'm going to try and extend that line out a little bit with a scribe. And then my attempt is going to be to line up exactly on that point and have it lined up where it's straight, and then it'll just continue. Basically, this is going to cut a mirror image of this on the other side. So we'll move it out to the work table and see if we can scribe a line on it, and then we'll get it reset back up and cut the other half. Okay, so here's this thing cut out good and everything. It did what it's supposed to do there. So what I need to do is I'm going to try and pick up this spot with a laser, and then I'll cut a mirror image of this over to the other side. So the only thing that I'm worried about, so if I can pick this spot up pretty easy, but if I get off, it's not going to meet up here. So it needs to be as straight as possible to hopefully line up as close as possible to this line up here. If not, I'm going to have a, it might cut over to here or something, and I'm going to have a little jag there. But hopefully it's something close enough that I can fix it. I can do a little bit of work and sand in or whatever and smooth it out, hopefully. But I need to get as close as possible. And look at this. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm trying to get this thing lined up on this straight edge as much as I can. And the leather, of course, bends. As it loosens up, it bends and kind of goes where it wants to. So I'm just going to try and get everything lined up on that straight edge. And that's pretty good right there. So I'm just going to make a line with my awl, maybe about that long. My leather is going to be okay. I'm going to have to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change that idea a little bit, because if my leather gets bent, I don't know how well you can see that. If my leather gets bent that way or that way, it's going to run out on the end. So I'm going to line this back up again. And I hate making the mark with the awl, but I can take that out if it gets, because if it cuts inside of it a little bit, it's gonna show. But I think that's not going to be a problem. So I got that. So now I just have to get my piece of leather straight too. It's going to be a booger, but I think I can make it work. So that's pretty good right there, and it shouldn't run out. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a line all the way down. So now I have this line here. So I need to get my laser lined up on this line, and I need to get this thing on here straight to where this line is the same. This line is still straight once I have it glued down, because when I glue it down, it could be all kinds of different ways. So I got to make sure I get that line straight when I glue it down. So it's going to be quite a bit of setup, but hopefully it's going to work. So we'll move back inside and get it glued down. Okay, so I'm back up here on the laser. So what I have to shoot for here is to get the edge of my piece lined up here on this straight edge again, and across here, and then I got to get my piece of leather, when it's glued down, that it's still straight on that line that I scratched with the awl. So that's going to be quite the job. If I get my line good and straight with this piece here, then it should all work out okay. Then I can do some adjusting once I get it glued down. I can adjust the table. I can move my board here that this thing mounts on. I can adjust it to where the laser goes straight across. So I'm going to get some glue on it, and we'll get it on there, and we'll have a limited amount of time to make adjustments on it once I get the glue on there, but hopefully it works out. Okay, here's the moment of truth. I got my glue on here. I got to slide this thing in here without getting glue all over my machine, and at least get this thing close. So let's go about right there. Alright, so now I need to get my straight edge, and I've only got a limited amount of time with this super glue. So I want to get my straight edge pretty good on that. So I'm pretty straight there. And that actually looks really good. I know you can't really see it, but I'm sorry, I'm lined up here. I'm lined up pretty dang close. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on that, pull my straight edge back out. Very gently press this down so I don't move it any. Okay, so I had to move my computer out of the way to run my Lightburn software. So I will bring the computer back over, and we'll run the fire on the laser where we can see it, and run it across on the other side. So we'll get it lined up first. I'll show you that on the computer. Okay, we'll fire Lightburn, or fire the laser back up. Let it 0. Okay, so I've got my origin set at this spot right here. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. Hopefully it'll all work. So what I need to do, I just need to get my origin set at that corner right there. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this on the computer. So I'll fire the laser off, and I'll just manually move it around. So I'm right in the hole there. I am lined up with that perfect right now. So at that point, so now let's just follow this down and see how close we stay. Okay, we're not even close. So we have to do some adjusting this way to get that lined up. And this is just a moving back and forth type setup here. So that's on the line. That's pretty close. Basically, I'm just looking to get it right on both lines so it follows all the way down. That's one thing I do not like about, I don't know if it's the software or the laser, the fire button. will stay on for random amounts of time. That's following right along that line right now. And I am right on my hole, so I'm going to call that a good origin for this. So I'm going to turn the air assist on and we'll burn it and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to come on my computer, I'll go ahead and turn the fire off, set origin, and let's start, see what happens. Here comes moment of truth. See how it lined up. There we go. Oh wow, that did really good. It's just a little bitty tiny notch. Let's pull it off. That worked out perfect. I could not have hoped for any better than that. So right here is where it lined up. I mean, I was off maybe I don't know if it's not even a 1/16 of an inch. That's nothing that I can't, just a little bit of sandpaper and burnishing. We'll take that off. So I'll lay it out on the table and we'll take one last look at it. Well, I couldn't be any happier than what I got out of that. You know, my initial thought was I was going to cut each end and then attach the two ends and just cut it manually, but I was hoping I could do it on the laser. And if I had a big laser, you know, that had a bed longer than 28 inches, I could have just cut the whole thing out. But this right here, well, you can see that. So right there, just that little bitty notch there and that little bitty notch there, just a tiny bit of sanding right there and burnishing. You'll never know, you'll never see that again. So anyway, very happy with it. There's the whole thing. And this thing here, this will bend over, and those will be the ends, and it'll have a piece of elastic cord that'll wrap around. So I'm going to do a whole nother video, of course, on the rest of the making of this thing. I'll include some of these clips too, but very happy with this. So if you have a smaller laser, you know, mine's a Atomstack S10 Pro, and I think it's a 16. I know my little table I have inside is 16 inches. I don't remember, it may go a little bit bigger than that, but it won't do 28 inches like this thing was. But there is ways, you know, there are ways you can make it work. So anyway, I hope this helps you. I appreciate you watching. Please like, please subscribe, and please share my videos. Thank you.